Just to give you an update on the death of Somtochukwu, the Arise TV anchor who was killed at her residence in Katambwe in Abuja. Peter Obi has mourned her. Let me just read straight ahead what he wrote. Rest in peace, Somtochukwu, Christelle, Maduagwu. I'm deeply saddened by the tragic and untimely death of Somtochukwu Christelle Maduagwu, a brilliant young anchor with Arise News, who was killed in the most painful circumstances during a robbery attack in Abuja. At only 29, Somtochukwu had already distinguished herself as a gifted broadcaster and trained lawyer whose voice engaged, informed, and inspired many. Her loss is not only a personal tragedy to her family and colleagues, but also a huge blow to journalism and to our nation, which continues to lose its brightest to insecurity and violence. This heartbreaking incident once again highlights the urgent need for us as a country to prioritize the safety and security of every citizen. No Nigerian should go to bed fearful of what the night may bring or lose their life in such senseless ways. My thoughts and prayers are with her grieving family, the Arise News family, and all who mourn her. May her soul rest in peace, and may we as a nation work harder to build a country where lives are valued and protected. Pio. And this beautiful picture of her attached to Peter Obi's condolence message. Gosh, whenever I look at this picture, it just gives me goose pimples. Like, you mean this lady, young, vibrant, with a lot of future ahead of her, gone just like that? Terrible. Smart Tech 2050 says another talented Nigerian gone because the APC-led government treats citizens' safety like an optional line item in the budget. LSD says it's so sad that bright minds like this get taken away from us at such a young age. This reminds me of Dr. Chinelo again. Nigeria failed these two as a country. May their souls rest in peace. Mervyn says it pains to mourn vibrant and talented Nigerians at their demise, but the pain becomes severe when we lose them to avoidable incidents. The issue of insecurity is not natural and can be avoided if the government provide adequate security for the people. These are part of the symptoms of a collapsed system, and it knows no bounds and can happen to anyone. We call for a thorough investigation and serving justice by bringing the perpetrators to book. My condolences to our loved ones and Arise TV. R.I.P. Somto. Andre says, last now to Japa be the best option for Nigeria. The government has failed to protect us. I think there were people who responded to that comment of Japa to leave the country. Hassan says, don't cry, baby. I'm a soldier and I will protect. Buddy, this one paid me. This girl was full of life yesterday, only to wake up today and was robbed of it because of useless men in power. And I need to say, people are dying everywhere. May we not die young. Nigeria own is too much. That's why all the politicians sent their children away from Nigeria. JN says, if the country you jump out to didn't fight bad leaders, perhaps you wouldn't have had any place to jump out to. I'm sure that the citizens of that country weren't cowards like ours. I'm also sure the citizens of that country weren't also scared to die fighting for their country. Audrey Trauma says, you can fight the bad leaders for me. When you finish making the country better, I will come back. This is not supposed to be a laughing matter, but God, this is an epic response. She's not ready to do that, man. Nipples Entertainment says, that place you want to jump out to, you don't need to offend anyone before they rain bullets on your skull and later term it as a psychopath killing. Don't compare safety in Europe to Nigeria unless you are being stupid. Don't call so. Sadly, security is a luxury most Nigerians can't afford, and our government refuses to provide it. Terrible. Terrible. Eddie Joe says, it's Somtochukwu today. We don't know who is next victim of bad governance tomorrow. We need to prioritize safety and security in Nigeria, and it will begin with our leaders. The state of insecurity in the country is alarmingly high, and it's not looking good. Valele says, Tinubu, Nigeria's chief security officer, has failed Nigerian youths. ADC Vanguard says, rest in peace, Somtochukwu Maduagwu, killed in her Abuja home at 29. Her tragic death is a brutal reminder of Tinubu's failure on security. Nigerians are unsafe in their own houses, while government offers empty words. We demand justice, accountability, and real reforms, not condolences. Legalpreneur says, as long as Nigerians have refused to galvanize to resist the current system, we find ourselves, we are all victims waiting to happen. Stephen Osemwege says, my heart aches for her family and loved ones. I can't imagine how this can happen in the safety of her own home in the center of Abuja FCT. God have mercy on her soul and the rest of us left in this failed state of a country. Tall John says, may Almighty God rest her soul in perfect peace, and may the minds of the humans who are politicizing the death of this innocent soul never know rest till they leave this earth. Obi Democrat says, oh my God, this is heartbreaking. What's the cost of life in Nigeria? Buchi MM says, rest in peace, Somto. I just hope this armed robbery attack wasn't a calculated attempt. Another thought here says, seems you have a death bell that rings every time someone dies. You are always ready to drop condolences. This one is attacking Peter Obi. That seems he has death bell that rings every time someone dies. Man, you practically don't know what leadership is. Ojaka Chijoke says, I thought the wiki says Abuja is now heaven on earth. Robbery that caused deaths could only be expected in the rural areas where there are no security personnel. So what's the difference between Abuja and Benue? Well, they're both in the middle belt. They're both called North Central. Benue is a state. Abuja is the federal capital. I don't know. What are the difference? FCT starts with F. Abuja starts with A. Benue starts with B. What's the difference? I'm trying to ask me that kind of question. Possible says some dim-witted and heartless souls will soon come under this post to play politics. They will soon come and start calling Peter Obi bearer of bad news, but they forget that it's easy to put the bad news peddler out of the business. Just reduce the bad news and trump it with good news. Indeed. Jeff says Nigerian lives are lost daily due to high insecurity in the country. This happened in the Federal Capital Territory, the seat of power of the nation. A young, promising lady with talents and skills is caught short. Nigeria is terrible. It's terrible to live in. My condolences to her family. Indeed. If you express yourself too much, they will question you and say you are trying to start a propaganda. Human lives don't really matter again for Nigeria. Let's unanimously talk about it and find a lasting solution. May they rest in peace. Oracle of Hard Truth says, Nigeria has happened to her. What a shame. May her soul and that of many Nigerians that Nigeria has happened to as a matter of insecurity rest in peace. Nigeria has happened to her. Rich says, another day, another one bites another day. We move on, doing nothing for another. day morning. May her gentle soul rest in peace. We went to the same secondary school. Really sad to hear of this shocking news. Eternal rests grants unto her, O Lord. Okay. I saw a post from one Sani Yusuf. He was actually quoting the news item on Nigerian Stories and says, "This happened at the block I live in. I was the first victim to be attacked, right in the heart of Abuja, man. I don't wish anyone the things I witnessed. When I'm ready, I will share details. For now, may the souls of the departed find peace." Right. I mean, this person said he had the experience, he was there when it happened, and that he escaped by whiskers. That is Sani Yusuf. Sani Yusuf, that's at Sani Yusuf on Twitter. And it's just crazy. I can imagine the trauma that some people would face when they are in that situation, or when they finally get out of that situation. The trauma is unbelievable. When you see your life in seconds flitting away, you're just in the moment because you don't know what the next thing would be. You already see your life flash in the pan and you say this is it, and at the end of the day you're out and you're a free person again. It means there's something extraordinary, frankly speaking, something extraordinary that this might be playing out, really. I don't know how careful one can really be. I don't know how careful. In any case, take your safety, your own personal safety, make it a priority. Be safe out there and be good. Take care.